in relationship, so that no matter what we face, we do not lose hope. Look at somebody, say, don't lose your hope. Don't lose your hope. It's a setup because he sets us up to be in a posture where we can have more than we anticipated, with things that are greater than we even expected to really have, literally in our lives. And so he says, now watch how you handle stuff, because I don't want you walking around filled with regrets. Because life sometimes can put you in a posture that, that you make some decisions that get on your own nerves. Now, don't look at me in that tone of voice, because you've made some decisions that when you look back, you would say, I would have chosen different if I had an opportunity to choose again. When we look at this thing, then we have to then pay attention to how we handle our disappointments. Because some people lose their edge on grasping hope, and they let disappointment overtake them for long periods of time. How you handle disappointment is major, because it will either make you pitiful or powerful in the next decisions you have to make in your life. You see, your life is the evidence of your past and the hope of your future simultaneously. It is attached together because it shows where you came from, it shows where you are, and it has a whole lot to do with where you're going to go next. One of the reasons God gives us discipline to get through our process of hopes is so that we can spend less time worrying about life and more time enjoying it. And so our disciplines are not there to penalize us, but to prepare us for putting ourselves in the posture where the hope we have can bring life to us that we would have no other way. Somebody here glad about that. If I hadn't gotten disciplined in some areas, if I was buck wild in all my initial areas, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am right now. Somebody can testify. And so the whole deal here is that I make this statement often, is that maturity is the evidence, literally of a disciplined lifestyle. So you should never have a party based upon your age if you don't have outcomes based upon your disciplines. Don't spend a lot of time trying to have a party if you have not disciplined yourself to live. Live so you can have hope for the future and attach yourself to it. Why is this so important, talking about hope and the power of hope? Because too often we don't recognize that hope is one of our strongest emotional strengths. How do we know that? Well, hope is a strength that is so commonly used that we have to remind ourselves that we are using it just to measure it. It influences, it edifies, and it builds up the essence of our influence. Hope makes you be in a posture where you get a chance to grab hold of whatever you have not been able to handle and hold it long enough to make something out of it. This is why hope is so essential for all of us, because when your life connects with anybody, look at your neighbor and say, with anyone, there's a measure of influence that's shared between you. People who need help frequently gravitate toward anything or anyone with means to support their hope for change. Some people only talk to you because they need you more than you think they do. And some people would never talk to you if they didn't think they needed you at all. I always say, and I say to preachers all the time, never be in the illusion that people want you as much as they want what you present. Who you are to God is more important to them than who you are outside of that. Because if you drop the God element, then you may as well sit in the pew and figure out, I'm not a part of anything that's going to give hope. You got to be a hope agent. Somebody say, hope agent. So our influence has impact, and it releases several ways within us. It releases through our personality, through our people development, through our production, through our permission, and through our positions among each other. This is why when we trust God, and we allow God to use us, the power of influence that he uses in us, we need to, at this particular point, always model righteousness every chance we get a chance to. Because it's our job to be a hope agent. Look at your neighbor and say, you got to be a hope agent. Why is that so important? Because people are influenced by what they see. So they have to ask sometimes when they look at us questions about why and how we got where we are. So attached to that, though, is that because people are influenced by what they see, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of example am I presenting to others around us? Some people will never respect you if you don't act respectable around them. And then here's another piece that's attached to that, because I've learned this in leading and dealing with people, that people who don't know you will borrow endorsement from the people you mutually have in common. Sometimes they'll look around and pick people around you who they think have influence over understanding the context by which you function and speak to them regarding what they feel like they need to know from you. This is why you should never misuse a relationship that you have not had the opportunity to build or get confidence in. And don't be disturbed when you've invested in others and they still are influenced by popularity and celebrity outside of you. And don't get upset because of that, because a part of respecting and recognizing your influence is being able to function in it without having to publicize your personal authority because of it. If you can be yourself, they'll figure it out. Stop there for a few minutes. Look at somebody and say, just be yourself. Be yourself. They'll figure it out. I always say to the brothers, you don't have to announce you're a man, just be one. And if you just go ahead and be who you are, it will be evidenced all by itself. It's all about modeling with righteousness and understanding who we are. But modeling with righteousness is one thing, but we also have to mentor with purpose. Say that to someone, mentor with purpose. Because mentoring is pouring your life into others to help them reach their potential. Help people get over the hump. Look at somebody and say, help people get over the hump. Yeah. Got to help them get over the hump. I like to use the acronym right here when I say help them get over the hump. The H is for helping those you influence to overcome their obstacles. The U is for urging others to grow personally and professionally. The M is for making enough difference in people's lives so that those who you bless end up having the opportunity to experience greater levels of living and to share what they've gotten from you. But finally, the P, put people in positions that support them being successful. All of this stuff, you got to help people get over the hump. Even if they pass you, don't be so stingy that you don't want anybody to be past where you are. Help people grow and let them become who they're supposed to be. Because hope from God then means that you have to help. You have to help some things beyond what they could have ever earned on their own. This is how God does us. He helps us past what we could ever earned on our own. Anybody grateful today because God helped you pass what you could have ever earned on your own? Psalm 33:18 says, behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. Psalm 39:7 says, and now, Lord, what wait I for? Because my hope literally is in you. So I don't have any other hope than to press myself toward you, God. I need you to show up to work things out and to cause things to happen on our behalf. And so hope encourages the power of our determination. Say that with me. Hope encourages the power of our determination. I want you to understand that it's the way we handle our sufferings that bring the best out of our situations and circumstances. When you go through something, it's how you handle it that has a lot to do. Where's your hope? Are you giving up? Are you pressing? Are you doing what you need to do? Or are you whining all the time? Are you retreating? Are you running away? Or have you decided that no matter what I go through, I'm going to stand up in this and make it happen? The scripture says in Romans 8:18 that I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Do you believe that only on Sunday? Do you believe that when we're in high praise, but you wrestle with it when you go through other situations? Because if you can't handle good times equally with bad times, you have to look at the standards you're setting for balancing your life. And you have to look at life and decide that no matter what I'm going through, if I believe God has my back, I'm not going to be messed up over what I'm facing, and I'll press my way through it till I get to what God has already ordered for my life. And so I made up my mind, I'm going to fight anyway. Somebody, I need a couple fighters here to tell somebody, I'm going to fight anyway. Yeah, you got to fight. Some of you are going away to school. Some of you are going to new jobs, whatever the situation is. You got to make sure. Some of you are moving to new homes, new places, whatever's going on in your life. You better prepare yourself to fight to win. That whatever you face, you got to make sure that you're pressing your way so you might win the battles you have to undertake. I've discovered that the joy of glory is often found in how we find pleasure as we properly engage our God-given pressure. And God sometimes will let you go through stuff just to prove to you who you are. I need any witnesses here who can testify that if God didn't take me through, I wouldn't know who I am today. He made me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me besides the still waters. He put me in a place, and yea, though I end up walking through the valley of the shadow of death, he taught me I didn't have to fear no evil. He says, because I am with you. I just need a couple bold folk that don't mind bragging, that say, I don't care how rough it gets. Tell somebody, God is still with us. God, as long as God is still with us, we don't have to wrestle about the context of the situations we have to face or the content of the power that stands against us. Because at the end of the day, if God be for us, I got a few Bible readers in here. Who can be against us? So you got to be determined. Come on, look at somebody and say, you got to be determined. Not a one-time deal. You got to be determined. You got to stay determined. Because God will use the word to speak into your future while you're yet going through your situations. And he'll put you in a posture where you have to deal with things. Understand this. If you wear your past failure in your present situations, you'll be ashamed to publicly embrace your future. You got to make up your mind, I'm not going to look like what I've gone through. I need some folk in here that don't mind saying, you look good for what you've gone through. Look at somebody say, I'm not going to look like what I've gone through. I'm not going to look like I'm in strain, or I'm not going to look like the story that I tell. At the end of the day, my story is really about my victory, how I got over. That's what the old folk used to say. How I got over, my soul looks back and wonder how I got over. It's miraculous. It's incredible. I don't know how God did it, how he moved stuff out of the way, how he opened doors, how he caused the enemy to get off my back, and then how he made brand new ways for me. I have to tell him thank you for all you've done. For somebody ought to jump up and just tell them thank you right there for all. My God, some of y'all right on the crease of something brand new getting ready to happen in your life right now, and you realize you couldn't have brought yourself this far except God got in it. And then I love the scripture that says, unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. But when I said my foot slipping, here come the help. Here comes the help. Here comes the help. Help came in and God lifted me and made a brand new way for me. Somebody don't mind, help me talk to your neighbor and tell them nobody like Jesus. Nobody.